Hey guys, so my cell phone ran out of storage, so that's why these videos are cut um, the way they are. So last time we left off, we figured out the hailstone count function, and we needed to figure out this next hailstone function. So what this next hailstone function should do is just take an n in this case, and take that n and do this stuff to it to figure out the next hailstone. And we make that n again so that it can keep going in a loop. So it can just use the new n, so to speak. So it really doesn't matter. It's just taking a number, turning it into the next one, and so forth. So to do that, we're going to have to make a function, call it next hailstone, as said there, with one parameter, that being a number. Let's call it n, and we need to output another number. We could call it n, let's just call it next to make sure that there's a difference here. So essentially, if it's odd, we'll do this to it. If it's even, we'll do this. So we can just check in an if statement if it's odd, otherwise else it's this, and do that to it. So let's say if, and Matlab probably has a built-in for checking odd, but just for practice, let's make our own function for isOdd. So we'll call that isOdd, and it'll just use the number and return a true or a false value, so 0 or a 1 in Matlab. And if it is, next is equal to 3 times n plus 1. This is straight from the definition of the hailstone sequence. Otherwise, if it's even, it's implied that anything else is even, and it's just divided by 2. And we end that, and that. And now we just need to define isOdd, and then our code should be set. So figure out if the function is odd, we just take our number and our true or false value, we'll call it flag. As far as I know, that's the convention. It really is just going to return a 0 or 1 or true or false. Same for Matlab. So one way to do it is to see, to divide it by 2 and to find the remainder. If the remainder is 1 when you divide it by 2, it's odd. If not, it's false. So Matlab has a remainder built in. So the way that works is we'll just check if, this is how it looks, if the remainder of n divided by 2 is equal 1, then the flag should be true, else the flag is false. And we end the function. So this is just taking the remainder after it was after n was divided by 2 and seeing if it's equal to 1. So I think you guys understand that. You can do it a different way, so it looks a little more pleasing to the eye since it's shorter this way. It's just the same thing again here. that you just set flag equal to rem. Well, yeah, flag should be set to 0 beforehand. Otherwise, flag is n. So the idea with this one is if flag is 0 to begin with, so it's assumed to be false. If flag does in fact have a remainder of 1 when it's divided by 2, it's true. And Matlab recognizes 0 as false and 1 as true already, so it'll work as a true or a false value. So your only options really are going to be 0 or 1, because all these n's are going to be positive integers. So essentially you're getting the same thing done, it just looks nicer. So with all of that, you can now simply test out in your command prompt you can just type, say this, to test out your whole program. And all of these functions must be in the same file for it to work. To 100,000. So if this, afterward, if it returns that, then you got it correct. If it doesn't, you did something wrong. I did check this code and it does work. And there are many different ways of doing it. So you can try different ways. I'm sure there are many ways of doing this more efficiently. So you can even try and improve this code. Now if you have any questions, please just send me an email and meet me at my office hour, or set up an appointment at a more convenient time, and I could help you figure this out or help you possibly with the homework. Now, to take a quick look at the homework, if you just don't know where to start at all, what I've shown you here is a good way to approach this if you really just don't know where to start with it. But, I mean, of course, there are different things here that you should take notice of. So, one important thing is, if you just don't know where to start at all, at least start out with this, right? Everything here is written for you, for your convenience and for you to use. So start out with this. Dr. Hill specified that, he gave you this part, so you should use it. So start out with that, and some other things that are really important that you should note after you start out with that is basically note this whole paragraph. Some important things in here being, make sure you understand this example, make sure you understand what this says here, make sure you take care of these things, and take care of these things. Make sure you can give this, right? Then you can move on and give this to the user and give this to the user. So before you even think about all this hard looking stuff right here, at least you should start here and take care of this stuff, right? So then after you're done with that, that's when I would go on and start looking at important things like this and this that you should consider, right? And after you use this and this, there's clearly something going on here until you get to this right here. So I'm just giving you a hint here that there's something going on to get to this. Note this also, and this part. So if you can take into mind all of those things, just as I did in the other code, my certain conditions in those in that particular code, if you can take into mind these conditions and you can run and execute these same test runs right here, then you should be golden with this homework. And I really suggest that you run it and make sure you get these values. This is the way they're graded, so it's very important that you reach these outputs. So it's just as simple as that. Everything that you need is either in Dr. Hill's lectures or the files, and mostly everything actually is already in here. So you just need to connect the dots. But if you do have troubles connecting the dots, please feel free to contact me or one of the other TAs. And check out Mark's PDF. He has a great code also on, I think, prime numbers. That's very helpful. And all right, I hope this helps everyone. All right. Thank you.